Yo, the rap world just got hit with a nuclear bomb. And this time, it's not a diss track, it's a lawsuit in a move nobody saw coming. Drake, yes. Drake just hit Kendrick Lamar with a shocking legal accusation that's got the entire industry buzzing. According to sources close to OVO's legal team, Drake is allegedly claiming that Kendrick doesn't even write his own bars. You heard that right. The sixth god is accusing Mr. I Got Royalty himself of using ghostwriters. And if that's true, the whole foundation of Kendrick's career might be built on lies. Fans are shocked. Some are furious. Others are in full denial. And behind the scenes, emotions are running high. This ain't just rap beef anymore. This is career-shattering, reputation-killing, legal drama that could change the entire hip-hop landscape forever. But the real question is, why now? Why would Drake come for Kendrick this hard, this late, and this publicly? What sparked this new level of smoke? And what secret does Drake claim to have that's so explosive, he's willing to take it to court? You are not going to believe how deep this goes. Secret recordings, betrayal from inside Kendrick's own team, and a twist involving a name you wouldn't dare expect. Let's get into it. The moment the lawsuit documents leaked to the web, the rap world froze. Overnight, headlines changed. Drake versus Kendrick wasn't just a rumored rivalry anymore. It was a court case. Fans are shocked. Emotions ran high. The family was left divided. This was a legal war, and it was only beginning, according to the papers. Drake's legal team claims they have substantial evidence that Kendrick Lamar has used ghostwriters for some of his most iconic verses. The lawsuit alleges that behind the scenes, in hushed studio rooms and encrypted messages, others wrote lyrics that were passed off as Kendrick's own. Drake's attorneys say they've collected drafts, email threads, voice memos, and even payments to third parties. They argue that the public deserves to know the truth. The accusation itself is explosive. It threatens Kendrick's most sacred asset, authenticity, but the wildest part, Drake didn't file this quietly. He released a teaser video on his social platforms, a short clip of redacted documents, shadowy figures, editing papers, and a voiceover. Some truths deserve to be heard. The caption read, "You think you know him." Fans immediately started speculating. Some swore the video was staged. Others believed it signaled Drake was ready to go all in. Kendrick's camp responded hours later. Not with statements, but with silence. For now, they refused to confirm or deny. Kendrick himself posted nothing, but his close circle went into damage control mode. One insider claimed he was hurt and betrayed, that he never expected someone he once respected to drag his name into a legal crossfire. Emotions ran high inside that circle. Loyalty, fear, anger, confusion. Meanwhile, media outlets picked up every detail. Blogs analyzes every line of the lawsuit. YouTube channels dissected the teaser clip. Social media exploded with hashtags. #WriteYourself, #KendrickTruth, #DrakeExposed. Fans were scouring SoundCloud for demos. They were digging into liner notes. They were tweeting old interviews, trying to find contradictions. The narrative was now fueled by the public's hunger for answers. Let's zoom in behind the scenes, inside OVO's war room. Sources say Drake was pacing in his studio late into the night. His face was tense, his voice hoarse. He was said to be reviewing every page of the lawsuit again and again. One staffer claimed, he muttered to himself, "This time I can't let him hide behind silence." He demanded that his entire team stay off social media. He refused to return calls for collaborative features. The focus was singular: execute the case, dominate public sentiment, and never stray from his narrative. On the other side, Kendrick's team went into survival mode. They convened in a private mansion in law. The mood was somber. Attorneys, managers, confidants gathered around to strategize. One person quietly said, "If we let this get out first, we're done." They planned their moves carefully, statements, counterclaims, perhaps a song response. But they were behind the eight ball. Drake set the pace with a lawsuit that already got the world's attention. Fans of both rappers felt the ripples. Some of Drake's longtime supporters were uneasy. They posted messages like, "I believe in art, not lawsuits." Others doubled down. "If Kendrick used ghostwriters, that's fraud against the culture," one tweet read. Across the board, discussion got nasty. Death threats, heated arguments, the family was left divided at the fan level. Siblings, cousins, fans who grew up together. Many openly chose sides. Community groups, hip-hop forums, even local radio stations debated fiercely. The energy was electric, volatile. Amid this chaos, an unexpected voice stepped in. Quentin Q. Harris, a veteran songwriter rumored to have worked with both artists in their early days. In a surprise move, Q posted a clip of himself reading a letter titled "To Truth." He claimed he had witnessed some sessions years ago where rights were passed around. But his tone was ominous. He refused to explicitly name names. Instead, he said he feared being dragged into a war he helped build. Before readers could press him, he deleted the post, but screenshots circulated. Fans interpreted it as confirmation Drake had dirt. The plot thickened further when a leak emerged. One of the documents in the lawsuit references a meeting in 2018 between Kendrick's manager and a third-party lyricist. The purported meeting notes show payments, editing sessions, and whispered promises of credit erasure. Tabloids went wild. Was this a smoking gun or a planted red herring? Kendrick's lawyers immediately denounced the leak as forged. As the legal war raged, the drama spilled into everyday life. At an industry party in Miami, a producer who had worked with both Drake and Kendrick tried to stay neutral. Paparazzi caught him in a corner, being pressed by paparazzi. Whose side you on? Videos surfaced of his reaction, unease, stammering, then walking away. Insiders believed he was being squeezed. Loyalty felt like weight. Contracts felt like traps. And then came a stunning moment. Drake appeared on a late-night radio interview, but asked beforehand to discuss everything except the lawsuit. When asked, he gave a cryptic line, "Sometimes the truth waits for its moment." That sounded like both defiance and warning. It made headlines. Fans dissected every second. But just when it seemed Drake had full attention, Kendrick struck back indirectly. Late one night, a mysterious Instagram live from one of his closest producers appeared static-filled, grainy, 30 seconds long. Kendrick's voice echoed in the background. "I am the voice of pain, not a pen I never held." Then the live ended. Fans replayed it, took screenshots, turned clips into memes. That single line reignited support for Kendrick. Fans rallied in his defense. Tweets flooded. "Write your own life. No ghost in truth. We believe in you, Kendrick." Emotions ran high again. The public sentiment was fracturing. Some believed Drake was finally exposing a dark secret. Others believed Kendrick was being framed to protect someone else. The question that everyone whispered: if Kendrick didn't write everything, then who did? And why would Drake expose it now? As night fell on that first chapter of legal drama, the stage was set. Drake had launched an all-out assault on the very foundation of what many believed made Kendrick untouchable. But Kendrick's silence, his loyal fans, and the murmur of deeper secrets promised this wouldn't settle quietly in courts. In studios, in social media threads, war had begun. And no one knew yet who would emerge victorious as the dust started to settle from the lawsuit filing. A new storm was already forming, and this time it wasn't in the courtroom. It was inside Kendrick's own circle. Behind the scenes, Kendrick's label was panicking. Executives were losing sleep, managers were ghosting calls, and someone close was leaking information. One of Kendrick's long-trusted engineers had reportedly been approached by a podcast producer offering him a bag to talk. Not on the record, not with receipts, just hints, shadows, enough to keep the narrative spinning. The engineer declined. At first, but then a private voicemail was leaked. The voice, heavily distorted. But the message was clear. You think he writes all that alone? No one man bleeds genius nonstop. Not even him. When that clip hit Twitter, it lit the fuse. Fans flooded the comments, trying to match the voice, match the lingo, match the cadence. Some swore it was fake. Others said it was real. And then the internet did what it does best. Dig.one Reddit thread connected the voice to a former TEED intern who had been quietly fired in 2020. The same intern had posted a cryptic message just weeks earlier. Truth ain't always beautiful, but it's still truth. Suddenly, people were questioning everything. Meanwhile, Drake was playing chess. He dropped a surprise snippet on his Instagram story, not a full track. Just him in the studio, headphones on, rapping a single line over a mellow beat. Ain't no Pulitzer in pretending. No caption, no context. But everybody knew what it meant. Emotions ran high once again. Fans were arguing in comments, DMs, and group chats. Even Kendrick's most loyal supporters began asking hard questions. Was this all a setup? Or was the unthinkable actually true? At the same time, Kendrick was spotted for the first time since the lawsuit, walking out of a recording studio in Los Angeles. Head down, hoodie up, no entourage. Paparazzi asked him directly, "Kendrick, did you write all right yourself?" He didn't flinch, didn't stop. Just got into a black SUV and disappeared. But the silence only made it worse because a new wave of evidence hit the blogs. A known ghostwriter, someone who'd previously worked with multiple top-tier artists, posted a now-deleted tweet. Some of your favorite lyrics came from people you never heard of. I know. I was there. Screenshots exploded across the web. Fans scoured old interviews, hunting for contradictions. They pulled up Kendrick's past statements where he prided himself on writing all his verses. They analyzed his early mixtapes, comparing flow and tone. Some said there were clear shifts. Others blamed it on growth. But the real twist came when a respected hip-hop historian, someone who had archived Kendrick's unreleased work, came forward on a live stream. He looked dead into the camera and said, "I'm not saying Kendrick had a ghostwriter. But if he did, that man's story ain't over yet. And it's way messier than you think." People flooded his DMs. He went dark the next day, and just when it felt like the walls were closing in, another name entered the conversation. One nobody expected, Childish Gambino. A leaked studio session clip began circulating. In the video, Childish and Kendrick are seated in front of a mixing board. Childish is laughing and says, "Bro, I told you, that bar hit too hard. I should have saved it for myself." Kendrick laughs too, responds, "Nah, that's yours. You sparked the idea." The clip cuts off. No context. No date. But to some fans, it was enough. Enough to suggest that Kendrick had, at the very least, shared creative space, maybe even bars with others. It wasn't proof of ghostwriting, but in the middle of a lawsuit claiming exactly that. It poured gasoline on the fire. The media frenzy picked up. Talk shows, reaction channels, panel podcasts. Everybody had a take. The question of authenticity in rap resurfaced. What does it really mean to be? Is collaboration a crime? Or is this just another smear campaign dressed up as moral outrage? Meanwhile, Drake's team filed another motion, this time requesting Kendrick be deposed, face to face. Under oath. Kendrick's legal team refused. They claimed the motion was premature, aggressive, and meant to cause public spectacle. But Drake's lawyers countered, saying that if Kendrick had nothing to hide, he'd show up and speak his truth. That move divided fans even further. Some saw it as bullying. Others saw it as confidence. But the biggest shock of all came from someone outside the music industry. A whistleblower, claiming to be a former employee at a major music publishing company, posted a blind item to a message board. The post alleged that 2 verses on Kendrick's Damn album were heavily revised by external contributors with no public credit. The whistleblower claimed contracts had been sealed tight, with NDA penalties in the 6-figure range, no names, no dates, no receipts. But the damage was done. Hip-hop Twitter erupted. Blogs called it the Damn Leak. Think pieces dropped by the hour. Fans who once praised Kendrick's pen began tiptoeing around his name. He still had support millions. In fact, but the invincibility, it was starting to crack. And behind closed doors, things were crumbling. A source inside Kendrick's team leaked a voicemail between two managers. In the call, one manager says he's not talking, and it's scaring everyone. The silence doesn't look strong anymore. It looks guilty. The other replies, he's not guilty. He's broken. You think this didn't hurt him? Those lines hit the internet like a gut punch. Fans began rallying behind Kendrick emotionally. Not because they believed the lawsuit was fake, but because they could feel he was human in the middle of it. A man who had carried the burden of perfection now looked wounded by the one thing he never expected: betrayal. And then, as if the drama hadn't gone deep enough, an anonymous email was sent to a major blog. Attached was a zip file labeled Red Room Tapes. Inside, 5 unfinished tracks. Credited not to Kendrick, but to a songwriter named Darius Hale. Who is Darius Hale? Hale. Nobody knew, but fans went hunting. And what they found was wild. Darius Hale was a ghost name tied to several major projects in the last 10 years. Always in the liner notes. Always buried. And here's the kicker. One of the tracks sounded eerily. It's like a rough version of Kendrick's iconic song Pride. Same cadence. Similar lyrics. A different voice. Within hours, theories exploded. Was Darius Hale the man behind the curtain? Was he the smoking gun Drake had been building this whole case on? Theories spiraled. Theories spiraled. But one truth was clear. Kendrick's name, his entire legacy, was now hanging in the balance. And Drake, he wasn't slowing down. He was just getting started. The next move would change everything within 24 hours of the Red Room tapes leaking. Darius Hale became the most searched name in hip-hop. No interviews. No photos. No verified pages. Just one blurry image from a 2016 songwriting camp and a list of mysterious credits on tracks from artists across the industry. Some fans claimed Hale was a studio ghost, the kind labels keep hidden to maintain the illusion of a one-man genius. Others said he was a pseudonym used by multiple people. A few even believed he was a fake identity created by Drake's team to destroy Kendrick's legacy from the inside. But then something wild happened. Twitter user uncovered an old podcast clip from 2019, buried in a 2-hour episode about songwriting. A guest offhandedly mentioned, "You know who the real pen behind some of these dudes is? Darius Hale. Trust me. You've heard him, but you'll never see him." At the time, no one cared. Now, the clip went viral. Suddenly, the theory became gospel. People were re-listening to Kendrick's entire discography, analyzing syllables, rhyme patterns, vocal delivery. Conspiracy threads were everywhere. Fans argued in comment sections about which songs felt like Kendrick and which sounded off. Some pointed to loyalty. Others claimed Humble had a different rhythm under the surface. Kendrick's silence was becoming deafening. And inside his camp, it was chaos. A source close to the situation described it as a slow unraveling. Team members were arguing, deleting texts, triple-checking NDA agreements. One assistant, reportedly in tears, told someone over the phone, "We can't even agree on how to fight back. He's shutting us all out." And meanwhile, Drake was playing the long game. Instead of dropping a track or doing a press run, he stayed mostly quiet, letting the lawsuit and the leaks do the talking. But he started showing up in unexpected places. Studio sessions with legendary producers, meetings with respected journalists, appearances at legal panels hosted by entertainment lawyers. He was sending a message: "I'm not just rapping about this. I'm prepared to prove it." Then, on a random Thursday, Drake posted a boomerang video, him holding a thick binder labeled Exhibit B. No caption, just the sound of a ticking clock in the background. Fans lost it. Blogs speculated that Exhibit B was the proof of ghostwriting. Twitter debated whether this was strategic genius or the most savage takedown in modern rap history. And then came another twist. The real Darius Hale showed up. Not in a music video. Not on a stage. He appeared in a leaked Zoom recording accidentally captured during a private publishing meeting. He was unshaven, soft-spoken, maybe in his mid-30s. He didn't look like the man behind millions of streams. But what he said, that's what shook everything. In the video. A rep from the publishing house asked him, "Do you still want to be anonymous moving forward?" After the Drake stuff, Darius replied, "It's not about being anonymous. It's about survival. I never wanted to be part of the front-end lie. I just wanted to help build." Boom. No one knew what that meant. Was he confirming involvement? Was he admitting he helped write something big? Was it about Kendrick or someone else? Within hours, his legal team issued a cease and desist to blogs sharing the clip. But it was too late. The internet doesn't forget, and as the debate raged, fans started noticing something else. Kendrick's single quotes as close friends, fellow artists. Collaborators were going silent. Schoolboy Q, usually vocal on Twitter, hadn't posted in days. AB Soul tweeted one word, "disappointed." Then deleted it 10 minutes later. SCA unfollowed both Drake and Kendrick the same day. And Isaiah Rashad posted a cryptic IG story. "Nobody's who they say they are. Just enjoy the music." This wasn't just fan speculation anymore. It was starting to feel like the inner circle was splitting down the middle. But just when it seemed like Kendrick might be losing everyone, one person finally spoke out. His longtime producer. Soundwave broke the silence in an interview with a local LA station. His tone was serious. His face was tired. "Listen," he said, "we all collaborate. But Kendrick, that man writes. Always has. Always will. What y'all seeing now is an attempt to break a legacy because somebody else feels threatened. That's not hip-hop. That's ego in a suit." It was the first real defense of Kendrick that felt grounded. No theatrics. No cryptic bars. Just truth. Or at least what sounded like it. Fans rallied behind him. #WarRightWith started trending. But even then, the damage was done. Because in the eyes of the public, the doubt had already taken root. And in the middle of it all, something personal emerged. Something that took this battle from public image to private. A leaked group chat surfaced from someone close to Drake's circle. In it, one message stood out. "Remember when he begged us to keep Darius quiet in 2017? Lol, he knew this day would come." The implications were massive. Was Kendrick already worried about this years ago? Did he try to bury it? Was Darius Hale more than a collaborator? Was he a secret Kendrick tried to erase? And if so, why? As these questions spread, the family was left divided again, not just online, or reportedly in Kendrick's actual household. Sources close to his cousins say heated arguments broke out over how to handle the storm. One insider said some of them want to clap back with a diss. Others want to sue Drake for defamation. But Kendrick, he's not saying anything. He just sits in the studio, headphones on, barely sleeping. A man once praised for his lyrical precision was now trapped in the echo chamber of silence. And the silence was being filled by narratives he couldn't control. Blogs were running wild. One posted a headline, "The Fall of a Prophet." Another claimed Kendrick's upcoming album had been delayed indefinitely. But the final blow of this chapter came when Spotify quietly adjusted the credits on 2 Kendrick songs. No statement. No fanfare. Just 2 additional names listed under songwriting. One of them, Darius Hale. And just like that, the storm went from theoretical to official. Drake didn't even need to rap. He just let the facts, or at least the perceived ones, speak. And now the world was watching Kendrick. Waiting to see if the Silent King would finally speak, or if his silence was the answer. The silence was unbearable. Kendrick's fans, the hip-hop community, even casual listeners were on edge, waiting for a sign, any sign from the man himself. Was he going to respond, fight back, or would he let the rumors bury him? But Kendrick stayed quiet. His studio sessions grew longer, but less productive, sources claimed. Whispers floated that he was wrestling with his own doubts, caught between pride and pressure. "He's human," a friend said, "but it's like he's losing himself." Meanwhile, Drake's legal team ramped up the pressure. The courts granted permission for Kendrick's deposition. And suddenly, the artist was forced to confront the allegations face to face. The media frenzy exploded. Cameras camped outside the courthouse. Social media ran wild with speculation on how Kendrick would handle the grilling. The day of the deposition arrived, and tensions were sky-high. Kendrick entered the room with a calm that surprised everyone. No entourage, no flashy outfit. Just him and his legal team. Drake was represented by a sharp, relentless attorney known for breaking even the toughest witnesses. As the questions started, Kendrick's usual confidence flickered. When asked directly if he wrote his own lyrics, his voice was steady but his eyes betrayed exhaustion. "I've always written my music," he said simply. "I'm not here to defend my art, but to tell the truth." Drake's lawyer pressed harder, pulling out the Exhibit B binder, quoting emails, showing studio logs, and even playing snippets of unreleased demos with voices not his own. Kendrick's defense was powerful. He explained that collaboration is the backbone of hip-hop, that ghostwriters are a myth in his circle, and that Darius Hale was a producer and occasional co-writer, not a secret pen. That room was electric. But the hip-hop community was at war. Social media feeds flooded with debates, conspiracy theories, and who really writes their bars polls. Then, in a twist nobody expected, an old friend of Kendrick's stepped forward with a bombshell revelation. An ex-girlfriend, known for her candor, posted an interview claiming Kendrick had confided in her years ago about struggles with writing pressure. She described moments of doubt and secret collaborations, painting a picture of a man torn between authenticity and the demands of stardom. Kendrick's camp denied the claims, calling them out of context and a personal vendetta. But the damage was done. Fans were left wondering, was this just more industry politics? Or was there a hidden truth Kendrick couldn't face? In the final days of the trial, the judge called for mediation, quiet attempt to avoid a public fallout that could permanently damage two of hip-hop's biggest names. Reports emerged of a private meeting between Drake and Kendrick, away from cameras and headlines. Sources close to the artists claimed the conversation was tense but respectful, with both acknowledging the toll the battle had taken, but no official statement came. As the trial wrapped, the public was left with more questions than answers. Did Drake's accusations hold any weight? Had Kendrick's legacy been unfairly questioned? Or was this just a glimpse into a deeper, darker side of the music industry? Fans remain divided, the media hungry for closure, and the artists themselves trapped in a drama that has redefined the meaning of authenticity in hip-hop. And as the dust settles, one thing is clear: the war over who writes the truth is far from over. This whole saga between Drake and Kendrick has shaken the hip-hop world to its core. What started as whispers about songwriting has exploded into a full-blown courtroom battle. Leaked secrets and shattered friendships. Emotions ran high, the family was left divided, and fans were left questioning everything they thought they knew about their favorite artists. So where do we go from here? Will Kendrick rise above the storm and reclaim his throne? Or is Drake's bold move just the beginning of a new era where the rules of authenticity are rewritten? And what about Darius Hale, the man behind the scenes who might have changed the game forever? The truth might still be buried beneath layers of contracts, silence, and ego. But one thing's for sure, this drama is far from over. And the fallout will be felt for years to come. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Did Drake have the right to call out Kendrick? Or is this just a ruthless power play? Do you believe Kendrick writes his own bars? Or is there more to the story? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Smash that like button if you want us to keep bringing you the hottest tea. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the next explosive update. Trust me, this story is just heating up. And you won't want to miss what happens next. Stay tuned, stay curious, and as always, keep it locked right here.